Firstly, thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said to my audience that's going to watch this after the fact, yeah, I'll edit all of this stuff out so you won't have to watch all this. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple different things that just updates on my channel, updates on the surgery, some adventures that I'm doing. And then I will do questions and hellos at the end. And this is just because someone pointed out that when you watch these videos in post, that estimation appreciating you, but I do want to make sure I respect everyone's time. So, yeah, I will go ahead and say hello to everyone at the end. Okay. So the first part is surgery update. I've had a couple of people ask about surgery update. Not much of an update, if I'm completely honest, but I will go over a little bit because I'm not sure what I actually said in the December update. So, as some of you guys would have seen, if you closely, I'm due for a facial reconstruction surgery. I have a really bad bite, you can see, and what's happening is it's causing my teeth hit at an angle and it's wearing down my front teeth, and I need to get my whole jaw broken and then readjusting the angle and then put it back. So it's covered by the public healthcare system here in New Zealand. I know a lot of this is repeat, but just I don't know who's watched what. So um, it's covered by the public healthcare system, which is really freaking awesome. But that means that I am on a wait list. And it's funny because this surgery you can't actually do privately, apparently, here in New Zealand. So you have to go through the public system. Or I don't know if that's just what my orthodontist has told me. So I called the orthodontist, got everything sorted out. I'm on the wait list. He said about 6 months until the process starts. Then I will have braces for a year, and then the surgery will probably be sometime around June next year. So I've still got quite a while until the surgery happens. But what that means is that I have to stay in Auckland because New Zealand is organized by DHBs, and I am in the Auckland DHB. And if I move out of the Auckland area, then I go to a new DHB, and it just becomes this huge, complicated process. It also means that I can't leave the country for too long. So I have to be here whenever the appointment's scheduled. And the ones that I've had so far have been like, like a month's notice or something like that. So I have to be careful about where I'm at, which kind of sucks, but it's actually been really nice because New Zealand's a beautiful country, and it's very typical to like not discover New Zealand or not spend time here because, it's like it's your backyard. You're like, oh, I can see it anytime, but it's kind of forced me to explore New Zealand more closely. So, yeah, it sucks having to wait, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So, adventures to come. Uh, I have been doing a lot of sailboat racing recently, which has been super fun. I didn't typically like racing. Anyone who's ever raced, I don't know what your impressions are, but there can be a lot of swearing and yelling, and it's not very much fun. But I found a female crew that I'm sailing with, and it makes a huge difference. Not to like diss on men or anything like that. It's really nice to be around people that kind of we're on the same page, if that makes sense. So I've been doing a lot of racing. I've been getting back into caves. That's a big one for us. Tell you, like, they're some of the creepiest things in the whole world. Like, glowworms are extremely creepy. So, yeah, exploring a lot of caves. It'll be interesting to see how people respond to the caves, but it's something that I used to do a lot when I was younger. My sister and I used to go explore caves all the time. So, it feels really good to be reunited with an adventure that I really like. John and I kind of are thinking about doing some plans. We are thinking about sailing up to Bay of Islands, maybe going up to Kowau. Caves. I said caves. Yep. So John and I are thinking about sailing up to Bay of Islands. We've got a lot more trips that we want to do, and it's always exciting sailing with John. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. He's just such a wonderful person, and I actually went hiking with him yesterday. And it was just, yeah, he's just a lovely person. And it's been lovely to help him learn how to sail. And honestly, at this point, I think he's like outmaneuvering me. He's way ahead of me when it comes to single handing. So, yeah. And I've also connected him with Holly from Wind Hippie Sailing. I don't know if you guys follow her at all, but they're up in Gulf Harbor together. So he's helping her out with some repairs and stuff like that. But yeah, John's an awesome person. What else for adventures? I'm going to hike Tongariro, which is a 17-kilometer hike. I think it's the tallest mountain on the North Island, and it's just like a really famous New Zealand hike. I also have plans to do a couple more of like the grand hikes around New Zealand. Lots of sailing, and of course, it's going to be sailing, hiking, camping, a lot of that. So, yeah. All right. YouTube growth. So, just a reminder for those who don't know why I am talking about my growth numbers. It's because I want to show people how these different experiments are impacting my channel. Um, and March was a lovely month. It was a freaking perfect month. I already know that April is going to be awful, so I'll just live in March for a little while. But I'll tell you about why April is going to be awful. So this is what happened this month. I had a 25% growth in income. I went from $51 in ad revenue to 64. It's not a lot, but it was nice to get a little bit extra revenue. And that's been kind of an upward trend in my channel is a lot of good growth. 14% growth in views, 27% growth in watch time. My subscribers are going down, but that's perfectly normal when you pivot. As long as my watch time is going up, that means that people are watching more videos on my channel. So I'm getting an audience that is more my content, if that makes sense. And just don't worry about your subscriber number as long as your watch time is still going up. But April is going to be freaking awful because I am trialing something. I had a problem where my old videos based on the tumor were bringing in more subscribers than my new videos based on these. And what was happening was as I was kind of in this where I couldn't get enough new followers to balance out the old followers. And the problem with that is that the old followers weren't keen on the new content. So the new content will never be pushed to a new audience until the new followers are more than the old followers. I don't know if that makes sense. It's probably way more complicated than you guys care to know. But the result so yeah, I hit old videos and to see how that would impact new videos. And basically, it's been interesting, and it'll be interesting to tell you guys my it'll be interesting to tell you guys my numbers next month when you see the full results of like all of the stuff that I did. But I hit old videos, and what happened was I have been watching my whole channel transfer from being searched and found primarily through the brain tumor videos to now it's being searched through solo female. And I can see the adjustment happening, and I can actually see where my subscribers are coming from, what videos they're coming from. And so I can see my channels actually adjusting. But as a result of past videos being hidden, I've lost all of those views. So those views will not happen in April. So next month, when I report my numbers, it's going to be super low. And I'll talk about that again next month. But it's going to be really interesting because all of these experiments, the way I see it is that this is one more lesson that I can teach someone when eventually I get my course up and running. This is something I say, like, hey, I've tried that. I've seen what happened. I can see if it works or didn't work. So yeah, I'm super excited to see what next month looks like. And that's kind of what's been happening with the channel. And then I have some really exciting news. So I don't know how many of you guys are here watching because you want to start your own channel, but that's kind of been like the new focus. Like I want to go on adventures, but I'm actually probably using my channel now more for experiments more than anything. And one of the things that I've decided that I'm going to do is stop with all of the YouTube growth content because I don't think that my channel is the right place to put it. Someone says the speech internet can't keep up with the speed of my speech. I've always been a fast talker. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll try to slow down. So the YouTube growth content, I think, does not belong on my channel as is. It doesn't seem to be fitting, and it doesn't seem to be getting views. But it's something that I still want to do, and it's also something that will eventually lead to my course being purchased because I want to establish myself as someone who is experimenting on my channel, and people can learn from me. So what I've decided to do is start a whole new brand new channel. It's going to be something that's going to link through the current channel. So the current channel is not going to be affected in any way. And all I'm going to do is interview established creators in the adventure space who are basically doing what I'm doing, but they're slightly bigger than me. And I'm just going to interview them and learn from them. And I think it will be really interesting because I can learn from them through those interviews, but also you guys can learn from them through seeing those interviews. They're going to be short and snappy. So maybe something like 30 to 40 minutes. They're not going to be super long. I'm not monetizing them through Patreon. So if you decide that you want to support in that way, you will not be charged. And they'll be minimally edited, but I will make sure that I take a lot of time to do my research and come up with questions that are actually really useful. Like I want these to be like high value interviews that are not a waste of anyone's time. So yeah, I'm super stoked about this. In addition to that, I started a newsletter. It's been linked in all of my videos, so you can go through and sign up for it. And the first newsletter is coming out this Tuesday. Again, it's going to be about YouTube growth in the adventure space, and that's kind of the exciting stuff that's been coming up. So, yeah, I'd be curious if you guys have any questions. It looks like the audio hasn't been super well. Some people say they can't hear anything. Some people say it's really good. I'm not really sure what to do at this point, but hopefully enough of you guys can hear me that you can ask some questions, and um, I'd be happy to answer anything you have. Like if you're starting your own channel, it's been really interesting to have people reach out recently and ask for tips and ask for feedback. And it just feels like it's starting to cascade a little bit. And I'm super excited about life. So would love to help anyone else that would like help. Yeah. I guess one more thing that's on my mind before while I wait for questions is I had a chat with a couple of my followers yesterday. There was Peter that was there, there was Ollie and Pascaline, and I asked them some questions about like why they follow, how did they get into it, what's the main motivation, and it was super duper helpful. I'm thinking about doing another one of those in a couple of months because it was just so handy and it was just so good to like chat and like get some encouragement too. Like I know like, like you're not supposed to let the bad comments get down, but it is nice to hear the lovely things they had to say, and be encouraged to keep going. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. All right. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? I'll pretty much answer anything if you want. It doesn't have to be YouTube related. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know she did that. Thank you, Rachel. Hell yeah. Yeah, the Cruising Kiwis are one of my patrons actually. They It's been really interesting working with them because we've been able to share back and forth what works for each of our channels and help each other grow. If you guys haven't watched, I will actually go make a mention for them. The Cruising Kiwis have quite an extraordinary story. I won't ruin it for you, but I recommend looking at the last two episodes that they have made. They're really powerful. They're heavy, but they're important, and they're such a lovely family. Honestly, I hope one day to actually sail with them, and that the offer's in the air, so it might actually happen. We'll see. Tim says, like watching my stuff because I'm interesting. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Any plans to buy your own boat in the future? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. And like I went to see Holly's boat yesterday and like get a feel for things, and like man, she has just made it work like with very little resources. Like I'm so impressed with her. And that's definitely something that I thinking about doing. I actually went to see a whiting 25 recently because one of my followers keeps sending me links to different whitings that are available because he heard that I was interested, which is super awesome because then I don't have to look. Just kidding. Um, but the biggest thing that's stopping me right now is I want to spend this year. So the course I'm making is just so time consuming. Like I'm planning the scripts, I'm writing the scripts, I'm filming the scripts, I'm editing the scripts, I'm organizing everything, I'm researching what platforms to put it on, and it's taking up so much time. So the goal is to get everything online, published, ready to go by the end of this year so that I'm not doing like extra work, because what I'd like to do is only be focusing on vlogging and learning and then like maybe sharing those learnings. But right now I'm doing vlogging, learning, and creating a course. So it's just so much time. And anyone who owns a boat knows that boats are so much time. And I just don't have the time. And I want to be able to relax and see friends too. So a boat is in the future. I'm thinking probably I will start seriously looking by the end of the year. So yeah, and I've mentioned in a previous episode that I kind of have this goal to single hand a figure eight around New Zealand. I don't know if I'll do it in one go or do it like in little bits of go. We actually had a really famous woman, Yelena, I forget her last name, but she is an American that was trying to do fundraising for um, foster kids, I think it was. And she single-handed a figure eight around New Zealand and raised like 100,000 or something dollars for foster kids. And I just like was so inspired by her journey that I would love to do something similar to that. And she's actually friends with one of my other patrons right here in New Zealand. So it's a small world in New Zealand. So possibly I will go and have a chat with her and see how she did it, get some tips and see how things go. We'll see, plans change. Don't get too attached to this, guys, because I want first and foremost to live my life for me before anyone else. So I wouldn't want anyone to feel disappointed that I didn't do that. But it's definitely an idea that has been reoccurring in my mind over and over. It's a dream I keep telling people about. So yeah, we'll see. Any other questions? Good morning, Ollie. Now I know your name is Ollie. Any other questions about what's going on? Um, while I wait to see if there's any other questions, I will say, we had a wee scare with Pivo recently. She had a little tumor on her butt. It was benign, thankfully, but she did have to go through surgery and get it removed, and that was really sad. But she's good. She's 7 years old this year, so she's getting a little bit older. And honestly, it was super heartbreaking to have her first medical scares. But I guess that's what happens when you have a dog. So yeah. Any other questions? I'll wait a second here and then nothing. All right. Well, good morning to you guys. I hope everyone's having a lovely weekend. I hope everyone had a lovely Easter. And I hope you guys are getting out and adventuring. I really, truly do hope so. Oh, Yelena. Yes, Yelena. Yelena Connor. She's amazing. Yes. I always think that these lives must be so weird for people to see in the past because I'm sitting here like commenting on a comment. So that's one of the reasons why I tried to leave this to the end because I think it's just a weird experience. But appreciate the ones who are here live. Appreciate the ones who aren't here live. And I will go ahead and let you guys go. Bye.